Okay, so it is downpouring outside right now, but I am on my way home from our consult with a doctor for my son, and I happened to bring my camera along just in case, and I'm on my way home, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna document this journey. So my son is 1, he will be 2 in, what is it right now, April, May? He'll be 2 next month, so he's 23 months old right now. And he has got a pyogenic, sorry, I gotta watch the road. He's got a pyogenic granuloma, I think is what it's called. I can't pronounce it. But it's basically this growth right here on his eye. So we went and seen, well, first I asked our primary about it, and she said, you better go see a dermatologist. So I went and seen a dermatologist, and they told us, yep, here's this pyogenic granuloma. We are going to refer you to this other doctor. So that's where we were at today, to talk to him about it and see if surgery is required, which, yes, it is. They said because of his age and the location, they'll have to put him under, and that's where we're at right now. So today is Thursday, and they can get him into surgery next Thursday, but he has to have a COVID test on Monday. But we don't know if we can get in on Monday to get the COVID test, so they tried calling today and they were closed already. So they're going to try to call back tomorrow morning, and then they will call me back and let me know if we can get in on Monday for the COVID test. If not, it'll have to be next week that the surgery gets done. That is where we're at right now. And pyogenic granuloma, what it is basically, he asked me if my son had a cut there, and I said no, not that I ever noticed. He said, okay, well, usually how it forms is like you'll get a cut and it'll get a little bit pink along the edges. He said that what happened was, well, what probably happened was his body did that, but it like overworked. So it just like kept trying to heal the scratch or whatever it was that was there. And that's what it is. They are going to send it away after they cut it off. They are going to send it away just to double check. But he said he'd be very surprised if there's anything but that. And that we'll be able to get in and get out same day. I think that's it. That's all that he told me about it. That matters anyway. So yeah, if we can get in on Monday for our COVID test, then we have to quarantine until Thursday. And then they'll call me on Wednesday with specifics like the time and stuff. They don't schedule times until the day before because they go by age, the youngest to oldest, so clearly it'll be in the morning sometime. And that's where we're at right now. So I will update you if anything else happens. The music up?
Fingertips together for more birds. Put your fingertips together. Your fingertips together. Fingertips together for more birds. More birds.
We have to go to the doctor. You want to go see the doctor? Yeah? Okay, we'll be there really soon. They're going to take off the thing by your eye. Do you want that thing gone? It is Thursday afternoon. It is 1:33 p.m. We are about 20 to 30 minutes away from my house. Surgery went well. We got to the hospital at 8:30 this morning. They brought us in, brought us to our room, and then about 9:30 the doctor came and talked to me, and then the anesthesiologist came and talked to me, and the doctor just said, he actually was like, oh, it looks like it's gotten smaller, which it had. I actually had been praying like crazy hard since we had our consult with him that God would just take away this thing and that we wouldn't have to go through the surgery. So I honestly believe that God did make it smaller, but clearly we still had to go through the surgery. So yeah, he just said that they were going to take it out, and then they were going to put some stitches underneath the skin, and then they'd pull the skin together and then stitch on top. And it's just dissolvable stitches that he said should be out in about 10 days. So he left, and then the anesthesiologist came in a little while later, and the anesthesiologist kind of asked all the questions, like if he had ever been under before, if there was any family history of anything crazy, blah blah blah. Totally healthy kid. This is the first thing he's ever had to go through, so I had no idea how he was going to react. I know that the one time I've been put under, I was 17 years old, and I woke up angry, crying. I wanted my mommy. So I kind of expected him to wake up the same way. 10 o'clock maybe? They came and got him. The anesthesiologist actually told me I could go back originally, and then when the nurses came to get him, they said that I couldn't. So I didn't get to go back. He went with one of the nurses. He was screaming, he was crying, it was horrible. I hated it. It was horrible. Horrible. I didn't like it. So the doctor had told me it would be about a 20 to 30 minute procedure. Then the anesthesiologist told me that it would be about 20 minutes after the surgery for him to like wake up and kind of them to make sure everything was okay, and then they would bring him back to me. So the whole thing took about an hour, maybe 55 minutes, but very close to that hour mark. And then the doctor came in. He said everything looked great. It looks exactly like the Pyogenic Granuloma. I'm going to get it. One of these times I'm going to say it right, and I'm going to know exactly how to say it. Pyogenic Granuloma. Anyway, said it looked exactly like that, but they cut it off. Everything went well. They had pulled the skin, did exactly like he had talked about, and that they were working on getting the breathing tube out of him right now, and he would be back soon. Or Asher, my baby, would be back soon. I said, okay, awesome, thank you. He went out. So about another 10 or 15 minutes go by, and the whole time I'm in like this, just this little room by myself. Like I didn't have to wait in a waiting room or anything. I had my own room. So about 10 or 15 minutes go by, and then I hear my door open and the curtain pull back, and the nurse is in a wheelchair holding him, and she said, oh, he's such a sweetheart. And I stood up and I was like, hi bud, and tears came rolling down his face. So I got him in my lap, sat down, and he cried for probably about 5 minutes. It wasn't like insane, like bawling. It was just crying, just not a happy kid. And then he fell asleep. So he actually slept for about, an hour and a half. He was sleeping. And the nurses came in and checked on him a few times. And the last time the nurse came and checked, she was like, okay, I'm going to like take out the IV and then check his blood pressure. So she took out his IV. He actually slept through like the tape getting ripped off of him and all those things. And then he woke up after that, and the nurse asked him if he wanted a popsicle, and right away he started nodding yes. So she went and got him a popsicle. And he demolished that. And she said, okay, you can go ahead and get him dressed and leave. We have some antibiotic ointment that we want you to put on the stitches 3 times a day. And then we also have eye drops that you need to put in. I can't remember if she said once or twice a day. And that's just to prevent any infection getting into the eye. Surgery went good. I got him dressed. At this point, he's telling me hungry. He's signing hungry. He's telling me he's hungry. So we get downstairs. I go to the pharmacy to get my antibiotic stuff for him. And they had just this little desk thing with like muffins and salads and sandwiches to go. So I asked him if he wanted something, and he said yes. And this road is really shaky, and I'm sorry. Okay, so he said yes, so I just bought him a ham and cheese sandwich. We get out to the thing, valet brings our car up, and he had finished that salad, or that sandwich. He had finished that sandwich. I wasn't even out of the hospital parking lot yet. And he's still telling me he's hungry. So I'm like, okay, let's go get some food. So we went to Fazoli's, and I got him a kid's penne pasta thing, like it was this big. And I got myself some Alfredo and some breadsticks, and I got him an apple juice. He ate his pasta. He ate his breadstick, and he kept telling me he was still hungry. So I gave him half of my chicken Alfredo, or no, it was just Alfredo. I gave him half of my Alfredo, cut it up for him, gave it to him. He finished that, and then he told me he was hungry again. So I gave him a little bit more, not very much, and I think he only took 2 bites, and then he said, all done, and gave it back to me. And then we listened to some of his favorite songs, and he was saying like, over, over. So he's starting to act normal. And then right before I started this video, I saw his eyes getting heavy, and now he's asleep again, and we are less than 5 minutes from home now. So that is our story with a 1-year-old having a pyogenic granuloma right by his eye. They are still sending it out to get tested, but the doctor is very confident that that's what it is, and we will find out for sure. He said either at the end of this week, but if it's not at the end of this week, it'll for sure be the beginning of next week. So I realize that not many people are having to go through this, but when I tried searching for this, I could not find anything besides like your typical WebMD crap. So I really hope that if your child is going through this kind of helps give you a little bit of insight as to what's going to happen. Honestly, the worst part of it all was the fact that he had to get put under. And yeah, in a couple weeks, those stitches will be gone, and hopefully life will be back to normal.